Story legend of Dhurrumnath. During the reign of a mighty Raja named Gutta Singh, a celebrated, and as it is now supposed, deified priest, or Hutit, called Dhurrumnath, came, and in all the characteristic humility of his sect established a primitive and temporary resting place within a few miles of the Raja's residence at Run, near Mandavi. He was accompanied by his adopted son, Garib Nath. From this spot Dhurrumnath dispatched his son to seek for charitable contributions from the inhabitants of the town. To this end Garib Nath made several visits. But being unsuccessful, and at the same time unwilling that his father should know of the want of liberality in the city, he at each visit purchased food out of some limited funds of his own. At length, his little hoard failing, on the 6th day he was obliged to confess the deceit he had practiced. Dhurrumnath, on being acquainted with this, became extremely vexed, and vowed that from that day all the Raja's Putteen cities should become desolate and ruined. The tradition goes on to state that in due time these cities were destroyed. Dhurrumnath, accompanied by his son, left the neighborhood, and proceeded to Dinodhar. Finding it a desirable place, he determined on performing tapasya, or penance, for 12 years, and chose the form of standing on his head. On commencing to carry out this determination, he dismissed his son, who established his dhuni in the jungles, about 20 miles to the northwest of Bhuj. After Dhurrumnath had remained tapasya for 12 years, he was visited by all the angels from heaven, who besought him to rise. To which he replied, that if he did so, the portion of the country on which his sight would first rest would become barren. If villages, they would disappear. If woods or fields, they would equally be destroyed. The angels then told him to turn his head to the northeast, where flowed the sea. Upon this he resumed his natural position, and, turning his head in the direction he was told, opened his eyes, when immediately the sea disappeared, the stately ships became wrecks, and their crews were destroyed, leaving nothing behind but a barren, unbroken desert, known as the Run. Dhurrumnath, too pure to remain on the earth, partook of an immediate and glorious immortality, being at once absorbed into the spiritual nature of the creating, the finishing, the indivisible, all-pervading Brahm. This self-imposed penance of Dhurrumnath has shed a halo of sanctity around the hill of Dinodhar, and was doubtless the occasion of its having been selected as a fitting site for a jogi establishment, the members of which, it is probable, were originally the attendants on a small temple that had been erected, and which still remains, on the highest point of the hill, on the spot where the holy Dhurrumnath is said to have performed his painful tapasya. Thank you for joining us for today's fairy tale. We hope these stories bring joy and meaning to your day. If you love our channel, please hit the subscribe button so you won't miss any exciting tales. Wishing you a good night and sweet dreams. See you in the next story.